Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to talk about Robert Saleh because he just finished, well, he's about to finish this Sunday, his second season as the New York Jets head coach. And I know there's a lot of Jets fans questioning if they believe that Robert Saleh is the guy to lead this team to the promised land, right? I know some people would prefer Robert Saleh to be fired. That's not happening. I don't think it's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I think that Robert Saleh is definitely coming back for year number 3, which I actually am happy with. And that's why I'm going to break it down in this video. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that need to be talked about with Robert Saleh. Of course, everyone deserves to feel upset with him. I mean, we just lost 5 in a row, all 5 of those games meaning to make the playoffs. So there's no reason why Jets fans should not be upset with their head coach because he's the first one to blame. It starts with him and it ends with Robert Saleh. And then, of course, you can bring up Mike LaFleur. You can bring up the entire coaching staff, bring up the personnel. You can bring up everybody, including Joe Douglas. But I just really want to focus in on Robert Saleh and kind of break down what he brought to this team and really comparing his first season to this second season. Because if you look at the defensive numbers, don't forget where this team was under Robert Saleh in his first season. Literally bottom feeders in the NFL defensively, and we have jumped to a top 10, top 5 unit in the league. I know that we took a little step back defensively these past couple of games, and now some people are calling this defense overrated. But in my opinion, I feel like that the foundation is laid, and I think that Robert Saleh has a lot of qualities to really help this team out for the future of this organization. So before we hop into the video, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy this content, enjoy the video, please consider smashing that thumbs up button and comment down below your thoughts of Robert Saleh's job so far with the New York Jets in his first 2 seasons here. So he's either going to finish 7-10 or 8-9 this year, and we're going to get a bigger picture of what Robert Saleh's vision is after the season all wrapped up to see what's going to be going on with the coaching staff, any changes going to be happening, and we'll see. So before we get deeper into Robert Saleh, guys, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is indeed Mojo. As you guys are aware, Mojo is a great app that you can download today by scanning the QR code on the screen or clicking the link down below in the description to sign up, which is a sports stock market. If you look at who's trending up and down on the market for the New York Jets sake of things, I got both the quarterbacks for the Jets highlighted. Now, the big question is, are either of these quarterbacks going to be, starting next year? And I think that we can all say with a straight face, it's most likely not. The answer, Mike White, free agent. Zach Wilson is coming off being benched twice, even though Robert Saleh continues to void his confidence in him in all the press conferences. So at $15.39 for Zach Wilson, he's been trending down on the he peaked at like $35. So he's down $20 in total from where he really peaked at. And then, of course, Mike White's coming off his worst performance of the season. Garrett Wilson at $14.83. He's declining on the market. I think this is going to be a big game for Garrett Wilson. Definitely consider investing in him. And Breece Hall, even though he tore his ACL, he's still trending upwards. So that's really the Mojo stock report. Again, guys, if you want to download the app, you can click the link down below in the description. So let's get into my deeper thoughts of Robert Saleh. Now, what did we want to see from Saleh heading into the season? Well, I wanted to see at least bare minimum 7 victories. My expectations was 7 to 8 wins. If we're lucky, we get 9 or 10 and maybe squeak in the playoffs. But obviously the reality that we're sitting here with is 7 wins. And if we beat the Dolphins, which it seems like the Jets are going all in to do that because they're not resting any of their veterans, they want to play like this has a meaningful game underneath their belt, it could be 8-9. And I think that if I'm the Jets, and I know some fans are arguing, well, do we even try to win this game? Should we get a better draft pick? And if you guys been watching my channel all these years where we had to go through tankathon and go through losing for better draft picks, you know where I stand. You play to win the freaking game. I don't care about better draft picks. If you have a good general manager, you will get good value in the draft no matter where you land. You play to win. And this is an important game for the Jets. I don't want to hear it that we're mathematically limited. I understand that we're done and the playoffs do not mean anything. But if the Jets can go out there and win against the Miami Dolphins to finish off the season, in my opinion, I think that's a big deal because, first of all, we lost 5 in a row. So if we lose that game, that's 6 straight losses to finish the season. It's going to bring the offseason into just losing energy. If you get a win in Miami against a team that's struggling just as bad as us, it kind of like gives some type of winning and some type of positive light to the ending of the season from the organization standpoint. From the fans' perspective, we're not going to really care if the Jets win, right? We're going to be like, oh, cool, they won a meaningless game and they're 8-9. But I'm talking about from the perspective of the coaching staff, from the players in the locker room, and the New York Jets organization. I think this game means a lot to them, and that's my point. To us as a fan base, I get it. lose for a better draft pick. It doesn't matter. 7 or 10, 8 and 9, what's the difference? But I would rather Robert Saleh and this Jets team go out there and dominate against the Miami Dolphins and go into the offseason with some positive light and say, okay, that's what it's like to win. And if you look at this team in the season from a grand scheme of things in terms of the perspective of the head coach of Robert Saleh, go all the way back to week number 1. The Jets lose that game against the Baltimore Ravens. And then that's where Robert Saleh goes viral with the receipts comment. And at the time, we're like, all right, Saleh, you better back it up because you cannot say that and not prove that you're not the same old Jets. And then he goes out there and he proved it. I mean, the Jets are 5-2. They lose to the Patriots. They get the 6-3 by the bye. Then they go to 7-4. And we're like, wow, this Jets team is different. We are a top defense in the league. We have a dominant running attack. We have talent all over this roster. Robert Saleh is doing a great job with being a football coach. Good clock management at that time I'm talking about. And then we lose 5 in a row. And you got to look at this in a way of, okay, Robert Saleh, what happened there, right? You really break it down game by game. We beat the Chicago Bears to go to 7-4. Go in Minnesota. We all know what happened in that game. We were a Braxton Berrios catch away from winning. Offense looked good in terms of moving the ball, but they could not get into the end zone. And also going down 20-3 at half was a big reason why we lost that game. And then we go to Buffalo. Mike White gets injured. We were in that game until the last second. But, of course, a lot of issues with that game. And I feel like, Robert Saleh, we had some type of energy in that. We had a sense of urgency. But then after that game is where it really went off the rails for me personally in terms of what's going on with this team. Against the Detroit Lions, we were in the game to win it all the way to the last second. And then that 4th and inches, we all know what happened. And the New York Jets have not looked the same ever since that play against the Lions. We get embarrassed against the Jaguars. We get embarrassed by the Seahawks. And here we are. So I think Robert Saleh proved to me that, and I got to talk about this narrative because I hear a lot of people saying, well, Robert Saleh is too nice of a guy. He doesn't hold his players accountable. And I couldn't disagree more. I know that he's a nice guy, and I know that in the media and on the sidelines, he seems like a nice guy, but we also have to put in perspective of what he did this season. Denzel Mims requested a trade, and he was on the bench for the first 5 weeks. Elijah Moore requested a trade, and he put him on the bench for a game. Zach Wilson got benched twice. If Robert Saleh was such a hooray players coach and didn't hold his players accountable, he would not have benched Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson would have continued to play even though he's playing like crap because if when everyone's saying that Robert Saleh is this soft guy, that really proved to me that Saleh it doesn't matter where you were drafted, how much money you're making, the better players that are going to put this team in a better situation to win will go out there. And I feel like he handled that at the best of his abilities. Now, did Robert Saleh win the job in terms of he's the guy for the future? He's going to be the Jets head coach for the next 10 years. No, he hasn't proved that yet. And I think this season, upcoming in 2023 and 24, it's the first time where Jets fans, we have a playoff mandate in terms of if there's no playoffs, if we go out there and we stink it up and we have another 7 or 8 win season or even 9 wins and miss the playoffs or even worse, 6 wins, that's where you can consider pulling the plug on Robert Saleh, in my opinion. But I feel like the positives from Robert Saleh, the qualities to his head coaching abilities that I personally love is he's a player's coach. The players want to play for him. They see his vision and also his scheme defensively. It definitely works. You see what happens when you have a 4-man rush, get to the quarterback consistently. We got lockdown corners. I just feel like he's a guy that's relatable and a guy that has a positive outlook of life in general that translates to his coaching ability. And I feel like he's proved to me that he can win at the next level in this year. And it all comes down to the identity that he's formulating here with the Jets, which is running the football, playing hard-nosed defense, and winning on special teams. And those are the 3 aspects of the reason why the Jets were 7-4. And unfortunately, those 3 aspects disappeared on our 5-game losing streak. The running game went away. The defense was not creating turnovers as much. The special teams kind of disappeared. So now this is a good opportunity for Robert Saleh to go into the offseason, figure out what went wrong in these 5 games that we lost 5 in a row, and figure it all out. I don't want us to be a fan base that's like, all right, you suck, pull the plug, new regime. We can't be a team to just continuously get a brand new regime every 2 years. You gotta be patient. And I know Jets fans do not want to hear me preach patience, but the reality is players, coaches, they're people that make mistakes. And guess what happens when you make mistakes? The good ones, they learn from them and they become better and don't repeat those mistakes. And that's no guarantee that Saleh's going to look back in the season and learn from all of his mistakes and be the greatest coach that the Jets have ever had. That's not what I'm saying. But allow him to go into the offseason after having a big improvement, by the way, from year 1 to year 2, and let him have an even bigger improvement from year 2 to year 3, because I think he will. And that's what Jets fans should be hopeful for. So let me know your thoughts about Robert Saleh, guys. I just want to make this video to give you guys my overall thoughts about him in general as a New York Jets head coach. I'm hoping that we could win on Sunday, finish 8-9, and finish with some type of positive energy heading into the offseason. And I appreciate all the support here on the channel, guys. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, comment your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys next time. Let's go, Jets. Peace out.